Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mega Minecraft here, and today we are focusing on logistics, lengths, efficiency, and the dynamics of bounce pad cannons and the secrets that can make you launch cannons the farthest in the game, which is pretty dang cool. Now, before we get started, these slabs will affect how the system works. There is also an issue, of course, because you can just simply launch bounce pads out of the system directly into wherever the heck they need to go to, such as placing dispensers right here. But then, of course, the downside of that is that you are, of course, also, you don't have the piston below, and it can result differently with different items. Now, you'll see if I place it right here, it does that. However, if right here, you can see it does this. So while it does accelerate the distance, it's not really recommended to have as much, because technically if you just put it on this higher one, it should be able to quickly bounce up like so. Now, over here we're gonna get onto this in just a moment. It's a pretty cool experiment, and I'll show you around that later. But for now, what I want to go through is we're going to go through gravel and red sand on how the whole issue works with, height, because of course if we place it right here, you'll see it's going to go this far. If we place it with here, you'll see it's going to go this far. So of course, they do have their differences, but what makes them different? Now, the reason I'm saying this is because if you actually place it right here, you are going to get the distance that it comes out right here, but if you place it right here, you're going to get the actual bounce and the trajectory angle that you are aiming for. So it might be best to do it like this, regardless of what happens, because boy! As you can see, if we keep on doing this, something is going to occur. Now, this is a very strange chart. You'll see, if we take it into F1 mode real quick, you can see that our original one with a 2 bounce pad body boost went barely anywhere. The 3 had a sweet spot.
Nice.
Numbers 4 had a bad spot. Number 5 had a sweet spot. 6, 7, bad. 8, really good. 9, 10, and 11 were terrible. And then 12 had a sweet spot. And then 13 and 14 did not. So, kind of the reason why after you get past these first two, you can easily see that there is a pattern going on here. So what's easy to predict is that the next one might have a sweet spot, and then they will go 3 more, and then another sweet spot, and yeah. So something that I kind of also wanted to predict with the little test was basically how the slabs would affect it, and I don't know if, they rarely will actually affect it. However, I would like to test with gravel right here, and that way you guys can see. So if we do some tests right here, you can see that the sweet spot will change. This is over here, and instead this one is the one with the sweet spot. And then if we go further, this one is the one with the sweet spot, and so on. You can see the pattern starts to repeat. So depending on where you actually decide, hey, I'm going to place my gravel or sand, let's say, right here, or that's where you're placing your dispensers, then you're going to have to worry about, this block, because that's an issue. Or you could say, hey, I want to place my dispensers, right here, like so. Just placing them like that, and then maybe another one right here. And then you go, okay, well, if all of my dispensers are going down there, I want to make sure that this one goes there too. And then you would say to yourself, okay, so if I want my dispenser to go down here, I'm going to need to make the base, to make the body like this long, because then I can get the most maximum, distance out of what I'm looking for. Now, what you're seeing here is basically me consistently upgrading the body with just one more length. However, what I would like to show you is that there is a bit of a amazing thing that we can do here. Now, if I break down this wall and then I build it back up, you can kind of see what I'm doing here is a bit interesting. Now, let's say that we have our dispensers right here, and they are going to be dispensing the TNT out of the dispensers into whatever the heck they want to blast into. So I'm going to quickly just fill this thing up while we do that. Basically, the TNT is going to then fall down here, fling up here, and then it's going to hit this wall and then rebound off just like it normally should. So we're going to see here with this sweet spot, we're going to get that trajectory right there, which is exactly what we wanted. Pretty nice distance, if I do say so myself, for only a 6 bounce pad body. Placing gravel in this should project it at, as you can see, the very same angle. So if we actually consistently start placing gravel in here, you can see that we should start to make a sand stack with gravel, technically. unless what it's doing is it's hitting a conflictor, which it is not. So what we are going to see here is you'll see I'm going to simply fire the cannon, place the javelin, and it is going to stack right where it needs to go perfectly, allowing you to blow up whatever the heck you need to blow up. Now, here's where the good part comes in. I mean, you know, the really cool part, because, you know, what isn't just ordinary anymore? I don't know. And kind of loop this guy around right here and push this in. You'll see not only does it do this whole bounce pad, but it hits this little thing which it allows it to get up here, gain extra speed, bounce off this, and then fling off there. And this can send something this can just literally send something flying. So if I send something down this red sand, you can see it is going to go all the way over there. However, if I launch red sand through this thing, you can see it is not only going to go through the bounce pads, but then it will fly off that, and it will basically fling itself all the way over here. Now, while it wasn't represented with, you know, the perfect sweet spot, we can always just, you know, narrow it down one block, and then we'll probably hit the sweet spot no matter what, because that's how sweet spots work. See, that's no go on sweet spot. Okay. And that's also a no-go. So, sweet spots, like I said, highly important. This one will actually launch it further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly cut the clip, and I will resume it back once I've installed all of those. Okay, hey guys, so we're back, and I just installed all of these, you know, this little method thing with that one block gap beforehand. Make sure that is critical. You have that one block gap. Underneath that, you will want to have a 2 block gap like this, another 2 block like this, and then in the center, you want it to kind of look like that. So, yeah, that's how you'd be placing your bounce pads if, you know, you wanted to. Make sure you have the bounce pads over this, and then everything should work out fine. Pretty sure. So, what we're now going to try and do is we're going to basically take away these sweet spots. We will engrave them into the ground, and I will get right back to you. Okay, so now that all these random markers have been placed in the ground, we are now going to then fire it using the same test, and then watching what happens. Here we go. So we get these mixed results. When it bounces, you have this interesting mixed result, because then if it hits that glass too early, it's not going to bounce off right. If it hits it too late, it's not going to bounce off right. These cannons can be deadly accurate. So you'll see this goes really far. You'll see none of these are reaching this slower distance right here. They're all reaching next to their highest sweet spots. So this one comes up, then this one comes back down. But then what happens over to the next one? Well, it goes out further. And then what happens to this one? Well, I don't see it. Oh, it's all the way out stinking here. Then another one comes all the way back down, and then it goes over here, and right around here, you hit this sweet spot where you get it all the way out there, and then you come back down, then you hit this again, then it goes a bit more up, and then it flings all the way out there, and then it comes all the way back down. I want to try and find a way to like easily get over there. So let me just quickly give myself an effect for speed 1. High life, please give me speed 1. There it is. Okay. So you'll see this thing actually flings relatively horizontally in a decent angle, and then it just flies all the way over to way back there. And that is the one with the body that is 13 long is the best. And the additional one that you can use is do 9 or do 13, because 9 and 13 seem to go a really long ways. And I'm talking chunks upon chunks upon chunks. But remember that everything's going to have to be accurate. You're going to have to be setting it up the right way, or things like this just won't work out. You'll end up with a cannon that the TNT gets stuck in. And just a fun fact for you guys, even if TNT is in a bounce pad and it's half in water and half out, it's still going to blow up everything around it, even if it's touching water. So make sure that you're being very careful of that. But that's all for today for efficiency, distance, and preciseness of bounce pad cannons. And I'll see you guys all in the 3rd episode, where we learn some pretty cool stuff about the changes of vanilla cannons over to bounce pad cannons. And I'll see you guys all in the 3rd episode. Goodbye.